channel. Alright, so if you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is Puzzle in Progress, where we talk all things jigsaw puzzles. In this video, I'm going to share with you a few weird puzzling habits that I have, and I would love to know what weird puzzling habits you have. So at the end of this video, go down to the comment section below and please leave me some comments about some things that you do that maybe are a little bit strange or that you don't think too many other people do as well. Or let me know if you do any of the things that I do. So the first thing I do that's a little bit weird, and I think I don't really know how many people do this, is I'm a sorter. So I like to sort all of my pieces before I start, like separate the edges and then also sort by color or pattern or texture or whatever it is. But I always leave probably the last like 50 to 75 pieces in the box unsorted. I feel like if I'm sorting and I have that many left, A, I can probably see them all in the box, but B, I have enough sorted that like I can assemble the main part of the puzzle, and then like when I'm looking for a piece, I can go in there. I don't know. I don't really have a good reason. I guess I get bored of sorting them, but I feel like it's an important step. I'm not totally sure, but that's the first thing that I do that I think is a little bit weird. So this next one, I feel like this is probably pretty typical if you have the space or if you have an abundance of mats or boards that you puzzle on, is I always like to have more than one puzzle going at the same time. Right now, I have 3 on the go. One is always done like either on a surface. So right now it's on a table because I'm trying to be kind by not puzzling on the floor, even though really my heart desires me to puzzle on the floor, but the hubs is sick of there being puzzles everywhere. So it's on a table right now, and then on top of that I have a board, just like a piece of foam core with another puzzle on it, and then on top of that I have another puzzle. So I feel like this is probably a thing that you do if you have multiple places to puzzle all at once, or if you have multiple surfaces you can puzzle on, or if you're just like me and like to take a break from one and go back to it. Sometimes, you know, you'll notice that like you're working on a puzzle for a long time and then it just seems impossible, but if you go to bed and you wake up and you look at it again with fresh eyes, all of a sudden it makes so much sense. I feel like this is the reason I have so many puzzles on the go, because I like get bored of one or I get frustrated with one, so then I go to the next one, and then when I get bored or frustrated with the next one, I can go back to the original one that I was working on. So that's that. But I don't ever seem to typically have like 2 500 piece or what. Like I usually have like a big puzzle, a small puzzle, and then like a medium puzzle. You know what I mean? Another thing that I'm pretty sure if you're an avid puzzle doer or collector, you probably do this too, but I collect puzzles way faster than I do them. Let's say I average 3 puzzles a week, but I go to the thrift store and I buy like 7 puzzles at once, and then the next week I go to the thrift store again and I buy 7 more puzzles, or even 4 or 5 that time. Like, I'm never catching up. You know what I mean? There's always way more on my to-do shelf than there is in my not-to-do shelf. Not quite sure what a not-to-do shelf is, but let's go with it. So the next thing I do is probably, I don't know if this is like something a lot of people do, but I only do a puzzle one time. It has to be like the most fantastic puzzle in the world for me to do it more than once. And if you wanted to see a video on those, I only have about 5 or 6 of them that I keep and do over and over again. But typically I do a puzzle once and then I trade it away for a different puzzle, or I donate it, or I make something out of it if it's missing some pieces. But unless it's one of those, like I said, specific like 5 or 6 puzzles that I have, I don't ever redo them. I just don't feel the need. Like, I feel like I've accomplished it once, I've solved it once, what's the point of solving it again? You know? This one I know a lot of you guys can relate to. I do not like doing puzzles with other people. I absolutely hate it. It's so frustrating. I feel like when you're doing a puzzle by yourself, you can like sort it, you can move some pieces around, and like, at least for me, if I'm working on a section for a while and there's a piece I can't find, and then like 3 hours later I'm working on a different section and I find that piece, I know exactly where it goes. And sometimes like if let's say it's a big puzzle and I have to like move to physically move myself to go put the puzzle piece in, I'll just like toss it into the general area, and I know like when I see pieces like that, I know that they are where they belong. They just need to be like clicked into place. And when you're puzzling with other people, they don't really understand like what's going on in your head. And so you have to kind of like, I feel like it's just a different dynamic and one that I'm not super into. So I definitely like to puzzle alone. Pretty much the only person that I'll ever let help me with a puzzle is my daughter. She's 5, and it's more just like me telling her like, hey, this piece goes there, and she plugs it in. Unless we're doing like a border, and then she'll help me. She'll like actually do it herself, but for the most part, I don't really let her move pieces around. I'm like, here, you can help like placing this where it belongs. I have this weird tendency to not like to dismantle puzzles right away. So I always have a stack of assembled puzzles, which I feel like is really anxiety inducing in some people, and it's surprising that it's not to me. And for whatever reason, it's not one of my anxiety triggers, but for a lot of people, I can totally see how it is. I have just pieces and pieces and pieces of foam core, and I like build a puzzle, and then I build a new puzzle on a different piece of foam core, and then I stack them up, and then when I have like 10, 12, 15 puzzles assembled, I'll start taking them apart. It's really terrifying if you think about the fact that like none of these puzzles are glued, none of them are taped, they're not like stuck down to the surface they're on, they're literally all just in a pile. Like if I knocked that pile over, I would just be screwed. There would be thousands of pieces from different puzzles all mixed together. But for whatever reason, I don't ever see it as a problem. So the last weird thing that I do has to do with my puzzle trading. And that's like, it's like a mixture of trading and hoarding all at once, but also just like keeping all of my options open. So there's a few Facebook groups that I'm a part of where you can like take a picture of the puzzle you've already done, post it, and then somebody in your area will be like, hey, I'm into this puzzle. This is what I have. I don't ever like to post puzzles that I have for trade, because like what if I say yes to someone but then like 5 or 6 days later somebody else posts a puzzle that I want even more? So what I like to do is just kind of like hoard all of the puzzles that I've done and disassembled and are in boxes and are waiting to be traded, and then when somebody else posts a puzzle, if I like it, I offer what I have, because then I know it's like something I really want. Whereas like, I don't know. See, that is really anxiety inducing to me, is like, what if I post and somebody else has something better? Like, that is like not okay for me. So, I don't know. That's just another little puzzle quirk I have. Alright, so those are 7 of the weird puzzle habits that I do or have, or things that pertain to me. If you have any of your own weird puzzle quirks, please leave them down below. I would love to know what they are. If you do any of these things that I do, also please leave them down below. If any of the things that I do like absolutely terrify you, like why would you do that? Also leave that below. I'd love reading your comments. I love knowing your thoughts. Don't forget, if you want, you can follow me on my Instagram at PuzzleInProgress to get basically daily puzzling picture/video content. Otherwise, you can subscribe here on my YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a brand new video. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!